Hello. So, Darkblade Ascent is a small indie game made by at most a couple of people. So maybe you would expect some 2D sprites held together with wire tape and spit, but this is 2026, so we're getting full Unreal 5 goodness. Now, Unreal has been criticized for a lot of things, but I don't care. Unreal Engine 5 is the Nickelback of game engines, the one everybody hates because everybody is using it. Sure, some developers seem to have trouble with optimization, which seems to be a problem or just a total skill issue. This game proves it. It runs well on my modest system and looks fantastic. What else could I want? Okay, maybe an expansive open world, a storyline worthy of an Oscar, and 128 player multiplayer. Let's be clear, Darkblade Ascent has none of that. This is still an indie game, but we perhaps shouldn't care about that either. 128 player multiplayer? That's not new at all. That's old, very old in fact. You can play Battlefield 1942 from 2002. We can't do any better than this in 2026? I would not know. There is some not super legal version floating around the internet somewhere, even in 2026. If you want to check it. Want a storyline worthy of an Oscar? Watch a movie. Seriously, games aren't that good at it. Or maybe play Life is Strange or something. That game is awesome too. Want an expansive open world? Well, maybe Assassin's Creed Odyssey is your thing. So what do we get? First of all, we get combat. The combat is both melee and range based. In melee, you can parry or hack, you can dodge enemy ranged attacks, and finally, you get both a ranged and melee special attack. Each encounter takes place in a relatively small arena. I found it works well and is fun to play. For this kind of game, this is almost the only thing that matters. There are a few first-person games with melee combat, and well, that's because some of them don't get it right. The one issue I did see is that enemies often spawn really close to you, so that can feel a little bit jarring at times. On top of the combat, there is a roguelite system. This consists of both rewards after every arena and meta progression between every run of the game. In deviation of what we might consider the roguelite approach, during the campaign there seems to be no randomization whatsoever in the different arenas, which limits replayability somewhat. Rewards after an arena are things like 20% extra damage with spears, dodge cost -4 stamina, etc. You can also get boons which are a little bit more interesting. For example, perhaps your weapon gets 1% extra damage for every 10 hit points you have. Another thing to consider are items like weapons which can be dropped by enemies and also boost various statistics. They can sometimes be bought at shops. When you find an item, if you don't need it, you can choose to salvage it. Salvage enough and you eventually get access to some upgrades. Meta progression rewards are divided into categories. Like in the health category, for the first 5 upgrades you get extra max health, and for the last one you get a slight health refill after an arena. I guess I should mention its inspiration. I happen to be something of a nerd regarding computer game history after all. This game is a roguelite version of a game called Dark Messiah of Might and Magic. That game is also very cool. In some aspects it's better and in some it's worse, though mainly in the looks department. Could we get a remaster? Please, Microsoft, please. Be a good evil megacorp and do what you were meant to do by making a lot of money with a cheap remaster. Actually, that is probably the reason we won't get one. To Microsoft, the revenue of a remaster is probably a rounding error on their gigantic balance sheet. Visually, well, I already mentioned that it looks good, but in addition to that, the game has quite a bit of variety, with dark dungeons and bright castle courtyards all making an appearance. I want to keep this short. The game is fun and cheap, so go play it. This gets a play rating out of play or don't play. The end. Yada yada yada, gotta fill 10 minutes for some reason. No, actually I don't. Have a good day. Oh, if for some reason you want to be served a notification if I have a new video, subscribe and click the bell. I would also love to farm your engagement and hear whatever you want to say in the comment section. No, really, get off YouTube, go play some games. Bye and see you later, alligator.